Hello everybody, welcome back to Bag Only. This is of course my inventory only Ultimate Iron Man here on Oldschool Runescape, where I've given myself a few extra limitations just to make life a little bit more tedious. As you can see here in the inventory, we don't have a looting bag. Now that's a rule on the account, we're not allowed to use the looting bag. For those of you not in the know, that's something UIMs usually use to store up to 28 stacks of items to kind of keep them banked away in one inventory space for future use. That's not something we can do. And similarly, we're not allowed to death pile. That means dying on purpose to an NPC or a boss like Hespori with an item storage interface to leave your items stored away there so you can go do other things with a nice empty invent while the rest of your gear is safely banked away elsewhere. In addition to those two, we're not allowed to use any other kind of miscellaneous box, container, pouch, bag, sack, whatever. So no herb bag, gem bag, all those things where you put an item into and get that same item back out again. Another huge container we're not allowed to use is the rune pouch actually, and now it's very, very powerful these days with 4 inventory slots. Of course that would make so much difference if we ever do mage content that doesn't just require the trident. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for us. And then as well as that, of course, we're not allowed to use the clue scroll stash units around the game where you can store a bunch of items for clues and retrieve them whenever you like, or the costume room in the house, which stores almost every armor set and skilling outfit and item and cape. We're not using any of that stuff as well. So all the items we have access to are either equipped or on our character in our inventory, or our bag, you might call it, hence the name, and we're just trying to become the most accomplished UIM that we can with all these extra rules. If you tuned into the last one, you'll know we did a bunch of skilling, as we have been doing for a little while now. We knocked out 99 mining on the account, and we completed the mining skill. We did every mining collection log in the game, and our collection log is looking kind of healthy now. We're at 446, so almost a third of all the items, and it feels like we've barely started. In addition to mining, we unlocked full graceful, as you can see here on our character, and we made the full thing blue over at the Brimhaven Arena. And with this running efficiency with this outfit, we headed over, did a whole bunch of herbivore. We went from 84 hunter to 93 in one episode, a whole 9 levels, and in that time we got enough herbs together to get ourselves 2 herb lore levels as well, and we used that level to finally complete the Varrock Elite Diary on the account, meaning we now only have 2 obtainable diaries left if you ignore the Wilderness one, and both of those only have 1 task remaining. So we're getting close to all elite diaries, which is really nice, and of course we are 2200 total thanks to all that skilling last episode. I'm just working on agility right now because we're literally 1 lap away from 91, so we did so much agility last episode. We went from 88 to 90, we unlocked the RD course, and then we did a whole bunch of RD course as well to get more marks on top of our graceful to make these hundreds of staminas in the inventory. But here's another one coming in, level 91 agility. Now with this we get ourselves a weird shortcut. I think it's the Legends Quest cave that requires a long rope, purely used for 1 clue scroll step. But for now there's 91 agility. I'll let you guys know what we're doing next in the subsequent clip. Right, friends, Romans, countrymen, it's a familiar sight here. If you watched the last episode, you'll know we did a ton of herbivore, and here's some more herbivore. Another like 7-hour day of chasing this annoying little creature, and we get ourselves 94 hunter coming in, which now means of course there are only 5 levels left in the hunter skill. No unlocks of course, because there aren't any from 93 to 99. But I just figured I'd grab some more herbs, you know we always need more herb lore XP, and we're also 2203 total now, only 74 levels away from the max cape. So we got an agility level and a hunter level already, pretty tasty. I did the usual thing after some herbivore though of making up all the herbs into potions. We made another 225 staminas to add to our stack, thanks to all the marks of grace from the RD course. And then I decided today we're going to work on a couple of collection log slots. We've never really looked into and seriously grinded collection logs on this account, so I had a look in the collection log for anything that would be super easy to just bang out, and I spent a day just chasing really easy and fun collection log slots, just to inflate that number a little bit. Right gamers, did I promise you some PVM content coming up or what? Here we are killing some Mogres over here at Mudskipper Point south of Falador. We've just picked ourselves up the Flippers. They're a 1 in 64, it took 85 kills, so a little bit dry on those. As you can see in the invent though, we also got the stylish Mudskipper hat 4 times before picking these up. I love how this thing looks, it's so stupid. But I do want these Flippers to take on some weird underwater content this episode. I figure it's a really good time right now to chase a few easy collection log slots while we are approaching 450. As you can see, these 2 compromised slots in the Slayer area of the collection log. But while we, like I say, own full graceful, if we do wear this full thing, even without the boots, we can nip over, do a little bit of diving, kill some crabs, and also go do some underwater agility and thieving. Anyway, that's the Flippers acquired. Let's go cause some trouble. So what we're going to do is we're going to go diving, and we're going to go kill some weird little crabs down here where you do RFD. And they have a 1 in 8 or 1 in 16 drop, depending which combat level one you kill, of a crab claw and a crab shell. And there it is, guys. Literally under 2 minutes to get both these drops. There's the claw coming in, and we have the shell as well. As you can see, it's just a silly claw that you can equip in your glove slot that gives you a crab claw, and then a helm that looks like a rune med helm with some little tentacle things coming out. Just 2 very easy log slots here in miscellaneous, both those completed, and now we're at 450 log slots exactly, which is awesome. Next thing we're going to do though is nip over to Fossil Island, and we're going to do some underwater thieving. There's one item you can get in the collection log from that minigame here, the Merfolk Trident. It doesn't do very much. It simply helps you in the minigame itself. It can store oxygen inside so you can breathe better while doing the minigame, but it's only 400 of the pearls you earn down there, and according to the wiki you get about 200 an hour. So if we play this efficiently, it should only be like 2 hours for this next log slot, and because it's one of the things we can only really do while we own Graceful and we have low weight on the account, we kind of have to go after it now if we want to go after it at all, so that's what we're going to go do. Now, if you've never done this activity, I wouldn't blame you. This place is basically like Brimhaven Agility Arena, only underwater. Now, the only issue with this place is you can't actually use the diving gear in here, so we are just going to get rid of it. Now, normally if you're playing, there's a storage thing here where you can put your fishbowl helm and this diving gear and just store it and get it back when you're back. But yeah, basically, this is a minigame similar to Brimhaven Arena. You know how you tag one of those ticket dispensers in Brimhaven, then you have a short time to get to the next one and tag it and you earn a ticket? Well, this is very similar, although it's chests. As you can see, you search these clams as you run around, and then when you search it, you can get yourself some of these tiers. Now, you can turn in one type of tier for experience back at the NPC at the entrance, and a second type of these tiers we use for the reward shop. So it's actually different to Brimhaven Arena in that you get rewards and XP instead of having to choose like we did with our Graceful Recolor. And it's also a little bit of a maze. There's a bunch of shortcuts here and teleports you can get around the place with that I'm not entirely sure of off by heart yet. And as you can see, we also have an oxygen meter to be a little bit concerned about. There's a ton of oxygen bubbles around though, so we can just, you know, use those. What you can also do is grab some pufferfish as you swim around, which are kind of cool. These actually weigh negative 0.5 weight, so every one you pick up, you'll weigh less, which is always good for run energy, and then you can squeeze them and you can get some oxygen back if you're nowhere near one of these massive bubbles to get your air back while you're swimming around. The experience here isn't terrible, actually. At certain levels, depending on what your agility and thieving levels both are, it can actually approach the EHP values for those skills, but for us, like I say, we're probably only going to be here about 2 hours. You can use the flippers to run down here, and you can use staminas as well, which is good. You just have to keep an eye on your oxygen bar though, because every time you fail a chest as well, you're eligible to lose some oxygen. But like I say, if you carry these pufferfish with you, you can get yourself some emergency oxygen to save the day. The first time you search a chest in that minute, you get a 100% guaranteed chance to get one of each tier, but then afterwards you're able to search it again repeatedly until the minute's over, and every search is a 1 in 8.5 chance to get an additional one of these tiers. So you can actually get a couple per minute, and like I say, we only need 400 for the one item we're here for, and then we'll also have 400 of the other tiers to turn in for some XP that I'll just show you at the end of the 2 hours. And there we go, guys. 2 hours of underwater agility and thieving. That's literally what the minigame is called, underwater agility and thieving. Very, very snappy name. We're done here. So we'll go grab our trident and then probably drop it straight away or give it to someone in the CC or something. I think they're worth like 600k maybe, or they were last time I did this. So, you know, if you're interested on your account to do a kind of easy collection log slot, it only takes you 2 hours of this and you can make like 300k cash an hour, and you also come out with some experience for it. And there it is, the Merfolk Trident, an underwater equipable weapon. And what you can do with this is use pufferfish on it like that. Now it has some charges, and then you can left click it, and just like the pufferfish, you can get 15% air back at the cost of 1 charge. So it just allows you to store loads of these pufferfish in this minigame in 1 inventory slot that's also equipable. And now what we can do is trade in for our experience. So we've just played for 2 hours. The best way to get the XP here is to do a combination of agility and thieving. Bearing in mind our XP at RD course in agility is about 57k, and our best thieving XP is RD Knights at around 200k. So let's see what we get for 2 hours of this. That's pretty good, actually. That's probably slightly better than we'd get if we did 1 hour of RD course and 1 hour of RD Knights. So a good place for experience, but we did just come for the 1 miscellaneous log slot, so now we're at 451 and we have the Merfolk Trident on the account complete. But as far as I'm aware, that's all the underwater content that requires us to have low weight that we can knock out now while we still own Graceful. So let's go get rid of this trident and we'll go see what it is we're going after next in our little collection log journey. Right guys, next one in weird activities to get easy collection log slots. Gonna go bang out the Tower of Life creature creation satchels. As you can see, we've done red spiders in the past. We've got 23 tea flasks and 34 of the red satchels. But we're gonna go attempt to at least bang out some of the other ones. Some of them have more annoying items to get than others. For example, the gold one, you have to kill jubblies. And then for one of these other ones, you need giant frog legs and cave eels, which of course are kind of tedious to also get. But there's 3 that are very, very easy. There's one that just needs feathers, eyes of newt. There's one that needs cow hides and unicorn horns. And and there's one that literally needs chicken and swordfish, two things we can buy from two different shops. So I'm here in Karend, going to grab ourselves some swordies from this shop that obviously no longer requires favour because that doesn't exist, and then we can just buy chicken from the food shop, and then we'll just scoot over to the Tower of Life, same as we have done before countless times, to get our noted red spider eggs, and then yeah, we'll go in the basement, we'll kill weird creatures, and we'll just get as many satchels as we can for our log slots, just to beef up our number here from 451, try and get it to somewhere respectable. So yeah guys, creature creation, kind of a very easy set of collection logs, just one of those you just bang out just to get numbers. We start off getting the rune satchel, of course, from newt roosts. These guys only need feathers and eyes of newt, both buyable ingredients, so this one was super easy, even easier than the others because the feathers are also stackable, so you can do even more kills per invent. Second was the black satchel. We need the sword chicks for these with raw chickens and swordies. Like I mentioned in the intro, you can buy both of these from food shops. The green satchel came in after from unicows. This one was a little bit harder because I actually had to go kill cows and unicorns to get the cowhide and the unicorn horns, and it did take a couple of invents, so I had to go to like Zeric's Glade and the Falador farm, kill a bunch of innocent animals for this one. And then the last two is where it actually got a little bit difficult. Like I mentioned, the frog eels for the plain satchel. I had to bait fish eels at Cam Dozel for the first inventory, and then for every other inventory we had to kill giant frogs in the swamp caves, which is a really slow one because the frogs themselves have 100 health, they don't always drop their legs, and then the eels you actually spawn in the Tower of Life also have 90 HP each, but it actually took me 15 frog eels to get that drop, so I had to do quite a lot of trips and kill quite a lot of giant frogs to this. It actually took a decent amount of time for this one, probably 15-20 minutes. At the very least we got 10k cooking XP from all the leftover noted slimy eels we earned, so that's something I guess. And finally the gold satchel, the one I was most intimidated by. We have to create jubsters. I thought we'd have to do a bunch of chompy hunting for this one, but of course every jubster you create drops more jubbly meat, and the other thing was only raw lobsters which we can buy from a shop. So I went over to the ogre place, I made a bow and some arrows and killed a single jubbly bird, and then I just unnoted the rest of them after each kill, and outside of the initial prep this was actually one of the quicker ones to get. And there it is guys, the Tower of Life creature creation collection log now complete. We're now at 456 things, and that's one more thing in our list here greened off, which is always nice to see. It just feels good, doesn't it? Yay, there we go guys, just got these steel boots. I thought I'd just go send these because they're a random stupid collection log slot, and they're the only pair of boots we don't yet have. I thought this would be a quick in and out, they're supposed to be 1 in 128, but as usual, there you go, we've killed 273 as well as 4 Pyre Lords as well. So cheeky log slot, we're now at 457. Just thought I'd send that, you know, just to complete the whole set. Now, at this point in this episode, we've done a fair bit of combat, actually, and of course we've been using our trident the whole time, so it needed a refill, so I headed over to the Prif magic shop, hopped a few worlds to buy the death runes, and in doing so I actually came across 2 different crystal implings. Just thought it was worth pointing out that since we hit 90 hunter last episode, we can now catch these with no net, and there's always that 1 in 128 chance that we want for that crystal signet ring which is on the log, and also they can drop crystal acorns for some nice farming XP, so we will be on the lookout for crystal imps now, as if we pass one we can just grab it. So with a nice little diversion of knocking out some easy collection logs, I went back to the grind, back to the herblore, back to the hunter, back to the herbivore on Fossil Island. I did about 6.5 more hours and we got ourselves to 95 hunter. And of course we're primarily here just to bank herblore experience that we can then later make into potions and hit our goal of 90 to get super combats, and the hunter levels are just kind of passive along the way. Alright guys, we are back. It's 7.5 hours later and around 910k more hunter XP, but there's 96 hunter coming in. We've now caught over 3,000 herbivores on the account, as you can see, and we have over 200k in banked herblore experience towards our current goal of 1.5 mil more XP to hit 90 herblore. That's about 65 more hours of this activity, but we'll only need to be here about 27 hours to actually get 99 hunter, so yeah. So yeah, we'd certainly not hit 90 herblore before we got 99 hunter here, but of course here comes the next hunter level regardless. Probably about 8 more efficient hours of herbivore coming in. We actually got ourselves 97, sadly just missed it, but it is there in the chat. And at this point we had about 300k of our herblore banked out of the 1.5 mil that we do need. Hey guys, sorry to say, you'll see it in the chat once again, I just got my 3rd Herbie pet at 3,824 KC here at the Herbivore. Of course that's a 1 in 6,500, and we've now had 3. I feel really bad for the people who've been running around here for like the past 2 weeks with me that I've seen most days who still don't have the pet. But yeah, there's just something interesting, I guess. 3 Herbies at 3,824. Alright guys, a little bit later on the same day after getting our 3rd Herbie pet, we're about to get ourselves 90 98 Hunter. Can you imagine last episode we started here at 84 and we've just sent pretty much the entire skill. But here it comes, 98, nothing special. Once again, there are no unlocks from 93 all the way to 99. But there's another level for the bag-only UIM, now 2207, so 70 levels left to max. I'll probably say that every time we get a skill from here on forward. And in terms of the herbs we now have banked, we have a little over 400,000 experience in herb lore here, and we need about 1.4 mil to hit 90 herb, so we need slightly under 1 million more experience, but we are trucking through it a little bit. And here we are, guys, a day or two later. I can't remember when I last recorded, but here we are, still doing Herbivore, and we're about to actually get ourselves, crazily enough, a herb lore level coming in, purely from the experience from clicking on the boars, getting 50 XP each time, and cleaning the herbs, and also random events like this one, that's going to get us to 87 herb lore coming in. That's anti-venom potions, the basic ones, which is really nice. You know, if we ever do wipe somehow and we lose everything, including our Serp Helm, then we have the option to get anti-venom potions and maybe go back to Zora and stuff, so that's cool. And then finally, the big goal of 90 herb lore is still around 1.36 mil away in herb lore experience. We have a good 530k XP here in almost 4,000 herbs, so we're missing probably 800k approximately herb lore XP to get these next 3 levels, but we are, however, under 2 hours away from 99 Hunter, so I'll see you for that one. Right, guys, it's finally that time. Starting last episode at 84 Hunter, which is around 3 million experience, we've gained ourselves 10 mil in the real life span of around 11 or 12 days on the account, and we picked up a second and a third herbivore in that time. And we also went from 84 herb lore to 87, but technically 88, because we have enough herbs here banked in the inventory once we go make these to get ourselves 88 herb lore. So 4 herb lore levels coming in, so let's get this one last herbivore right here, and we'll see on the account those glorious fireworks and that 99 Hunter coming in on the bag-only UIM. That's it, finally. We can barehand catch every single kind of impling now, which is massive. We'll never need to go and chase an impling jar and a net ever again. And yeah, we got ourselves a ton of herbs in this one, as you can see. But the end count is 4,345 herbivore. Somehow it's missed 2. Maybe I didn't harvest 2 of them and ran off or something. But there's the herbs. If you did this grind on a main, you'd earn yourself over 32 million GP. So 32 mil in under 2 weeks work, and a sweet new 99, that's now 99 number 14 on the account. And of course, the customary clip of getting a 99 on this account means we have to go buy the cape, tell you about the perk, and show off the emote. Just thanks to the clan here, all the guys giving us the grats for hitting 99. Shout out Mr. Stun as well. Yeah, for some reason this cape though, you get it here in the Feldip Hills Hunter area, which I guess makes some kind of sense, because as of recording, the Hunting Guild currently is not yet out. But I'm hoping that in 6 days when Varlamore drops and the Hunting Guild releases, that this cape gets updated. I don't think it will, in my heart of hearts. I don't think Jagex will bother. But here it is, everybody, the 99 Hunter cape spoils. It does look really cool. It's really, really fashionable. It matches Barrow's gear really well, actually. We actually look sick. It's just a really, really good look. Functionally not super useful. If you right-click this cape, you can teleport. There are 2 options. You get 5 uses per day. What you really don't want to do is click on Black Chins and go to the wilderness, but you can teleport here to the Feldip Hills, to the red chins just north of this trainer here, and you can catch yourself some red chin chompers with this bad boy. We can also show off the emote, as we always do, and here it is. We catch ourselves whatever that thing is there. Hope they add like a teleport to the guild or something to this cape and just update it a bit, because it sucks. But yeah, that's our Hunter journey done on the account, and like I say, we're now 14 skills maxed out of 23. So there it was, level 99 Hunter coming in basically for free. Of course, the reason we were doing Herbivore was to get to 90 herb lore from the herbs it gives, but at 99 Hunter we'd only managed to gather ourselves probably enough herbs for level 88 and a bit in our herb lore. There was still a lot more to go to get to level 90, because of course every level is much bigger than the level before it. Of course, went to Spidines for the secondaries for super restores. We picked up Blue Dragon Scales in the Myths Guild once again to make anti-fires and weapon poisons, and we made super energies and subsequently staminas from mushrooms from Mortmire Swamp and Ardy Course Lapse. The reason I made all the herbs here into potions is I just wanted to really quickly clean up the inventory and try some different methods to see if they were any better for further herb lore experience. And while gathering some Marks of Grace for Amylase crystals to make the staminas we had in the inventory, I actually managed to complete the full Freaky Forester outfit by keeping the outfit pieces from the random events. Alright guys, we're back at the Ardy Course. As you can see, since we got ourselves 99 Hunter like 2 days ago, I've processed all the herbs as you can see in the inventory, except for the ones that go into super combats. We'll be doing those next. And I have also made all our super energies into staminas by doing many hours at the RD course. We've now done 1400 laps here since we unlocked this course last episode. I think since I last saw you, I've probably done about 12 more hours of this course. With this lap here, we're going to get ourselves a brand new level, 92 agility coming in. Of course, we were 88 last episode. This is the final level of Hallowed Sepulchre. Of course, the best in slot training method for agility, the highest XP now if we ever want to send these last 7 levels. But for now, we're done. I just thought I'd send the last, 3 hours of this, because it's just such a huge one for unlocking that course. I thought I'd just send it. So at this stage, I'd made all the potions except for the ones specifically that go into super combats from our grind of 99 Hunter. But for the super strength specifically, the secondary was really annoying to get. We need a huge amount of limpwort roots, and of course the easiest way to get these is to grow them from limpwort seeds yourself, so I decided to do a bout of master farmer thieving for the seeds and a bunch of farming to grow our own limpworts. Now of course our inventory's always full of stuff, so when we thieve from the master farmers they have a massive drop table of junk seeds that just got in our way, so I had to stop thieving all the time to drop all of these from our inventory and just hold on to the limpworts and the few good herb seeds I was also keeping for the sake of it. So our actual thieves per hour and our experience per hour was less than half of the potential you can actually get from master farmers due to stopping all the time and dropping all of these. Not only this, we of course don't have access to the rogue's outfit, which gives you double thieving loot. It's not possible to get on our account. So because of this, not only were we thieving incredibly slowly, we also were receiving half the seeds every time we did thieve. So it was a really painful endeavour doing this thieving and farming method. Now I had hoped that master farmers would turn out to be really good, and we could use this method to go all the way and get the rest of the herbs we needed from the 88 we had banked in the inventory all the way to the 90 herb lore we were going for. But just testing this out in getting enough limpworts to make the super strengths we had, I realised this method was terrible for our account for all the reasons I mentioned before. So for the rest of the herbs I did decide that herbivore would be the way forward, but in getting enough limpworts for the potions we had on us, we did manage to do quite a few nice farming contracts and plant a few good trees as well. So it wasn't totally wasted time, and we did get a little bit of thieving done in the meantime. It's a little bit sad that our best in slot herb lore method remains to be hunter, even though we finished the hunter skill, but just because our primary goal now for progressing the account is getting that 90 herb lore, we're just going to have to go do some post 99 hunter. Oh boy guys, this is the last inventory, our last 4 tourstals, can you imagine? Very tedious, as expected, including the pies that got stolen off the floor here at the Grand Exchange. It took me 7 botanical pies to make this 180 super combats. I literally did probably half an hour of fruit stalls just to do this grind. But there we go, the last couple coming in. Like I say, we've got a lot of leftover potions, as you can see. Almost 200 super attacks and 400 super defenses left. About 2.5 million leftover pots when we drop these over. But there it is. Loot from 99 Hunter at the herbivore there comes to 181 full super combats for raids and such in the future, and well over 600 staminas, but of course we've been using them as we've been going, so 585 left. Oh, right guys, that's the current bout of herb lore done. I know this episode's a little bit herb lore heavy, but it's going to be, you know. The goal is kind of big, and it's so slow to train, but I think I want to make some more inventory modifications like I mentioned before, like we did before with the fire cape and the brimstone boots. Apparently you can unrecolor graceful, and then you can also sell graceful back. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to sell full graceful because we still need it of course, but I am going to get rid of the cape specifically and sell it, and then with that we'll equip our construction cape. And one thing I'm also going to do, I don't know if I mentioned it in the video so far, but in one of the most recent RuneScape blogs, I can't remember which one because they put so many out and they make changes to them all the time, they did mention that they want to add the Mage Cape 2 somewhere in the game to be reclaimable for 250k coins. Now I'm going to bank on Jagex actually adding it to Purdue. They haven't specifically said whether it'll be Purdue's reclaim shop or whether you'll have to go back to the Mage Arena in the wilderness, but I'm gambling. If they add this to Purdue's shop, then we can buy it back in Lumbridge. We don't need to enter the wilderness, risk our entire bank. But what we are going to do real quick though first is just like I say, come here, sell this graceful for 32 marks and just turn it in for some amylays, and then we can drop trade these over to the main. So instead of getting nothing, we at least get 400k on the other account, which is good, and we'll be just looking like this to save an invent space. And speaking of this Mage Cape 2, I don't know how the poll's going to go, but either way, I'm going to get rid of the Mage Cape 2. We're going to gamble. If somehow you've been living under a rock or not paying too much attention in these videos, whenever I go to reclaim items back, I head back to Lumbridge and go to Purdue's shop. He sells all the diary items you've unlocked, but as well a bunch of other stuff from other quests, including the Mage Cape 1. Now I'm hoping when they make the Mage Cape 2 reclaimable, it'll just be in this shop here for 250k. But what we can do now is buy any of the Mage Arena 1 capes, which of course are worse. They don't have nearly as good stats, but I'm going to ditch this cape. It'll be one more permanent space on the account, and at the very least, like I say, we can come back here and just get ourselves the Mage Cape 1. It's not terrible, and that's fully disposable. We can just come back here and buy that at any time for 20k. So, you know, if we're not doing any maging, we just get rid of it, drop it, come back here at a later date, and we have that inventory space back. So now, the inventory, along with these 2 potions that we are keeping, we'll be dropping this amylase, of course, over to the main for money, is now 9 items out of the 28. So we actually have 19 items available, and I'm going to go back and do more herbivore for a bit. The inventory's nice and clean now. Goal remains to be 90 herblore. We tested doing proper farming. It was too slow, so it's going to be back to herbivore, sadly. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here I am on Pest Control Island. I know, this is not where I've been recently, but Varlamore is in full swing. It's day 3 of the Varlamore release. I've been scouting it out over on my main account, seeing if any of the content there is going to be useful for our UIM here. And in the meantime, I've been parked at Pest Control with my lovely D-Sim and my terrible melee setup, as you can see here. But we've once again got ourselves a full cap of Pest Control points, and if you remember the rates, that should get us over 1 million experience. We're currently 7.2 mil almost exactly, and it's only 730k till 94, and the reason we're doing this is just because it's a great AFK activity. We always need prayer XP, of course, and one of our goals on the account right now is to hit 96 prayer, so our prayer pots and super restores give us the maximum amount of prayer back before we go to the Inferno later this year, and we can make our supplies in there stretch further and potentially beat Zuck. Now, claiming this is one of the most fun things in the game because you walk over with no prayer XP earned for the past 2.5 solid days of doing this, but then you come and cash out and you get a crazy amount. So we're talking 7.2 mil start, and we'll just claim this 40 times. As you can see, each one is 27k, and once we do hit 95 prayer as well, this will go up slightly, so every claim will probably be 29k. But there it is on the account, 94 prayer now completed on the bag-only UIM, but with that we are now also only 450k away from 95 prayer, so in about another less than half a full claim here at Pest Control, we'll get ourselves another level, and like I say, at 95, the XP we get from here per point goes up a little bit, and then at 96, we hit that goal, and it gives us, like I say, that last threshold for prayer. And we're right back again, guys. Here we are at Pest Control, and it's been another, I think, 12 hours since I last did a clip. We have got enough to get ourselves another prayer level, so I'm going to come cash this out with you guys now. And there we go, guys. 95 prayer coming in, just 4 levels left in the prayer skill. That is now 2113 total, and we're of course only now 3 prayer levels away from being max combat, which is good. But if you see now, if we go back and claim another 100 lots of points on prayer experience, instead of 27.7k, we get 29.7k. And now one of those claims takes about half an hour to get, so our prayer experience now on the account with hard combat diaries done in the hard lander is almost 60,000 XP an hour in prayer, with no bones, no insult heads, and we make coins from doing this. It's such an unbelievable method that only gets better and better every few levels. It'd only be something like 70 hours or something of Pest Control, and we could get ourselves 99 prayer. Not necessarily the goal right now, like I say, I just want one more level, but to get that it's looking to be maybe 13, 14 more hours, and then we'll go back and finish off this 90 herblore to unlock those overloads and super combats. And we're back, guys. You know what that means. We're back at the Pest Control reward shop. I'm sure you're sick of this now, but I've done another entire cap of Pest Control points, 4,000 points, so around 20 more hours. And there we go, last one. Let's click off the box, guys, and see ourselves with 96 prayer coming in on the UIM. Love this method, been over it enough, but yeah, crazy stuff. Only 700k left to get to 97, so we'd probably be looking at 12 good hours of Pest Control to get yet one more level, so only 3 mil total left to max this out if we wanted to, which is of course never a bad idea. By the way, guys, I don't know if you've seen my brand new pet here, this messenger that keeps continually appearing in like one of 3 different character skins. For some reason this is an NPC. I believe the wiki says if you haven't done the mini quest Into the Tombs, then this NPC keeps appearing, but apparently they added this in 2022, but it's just started popping up this week while I was in Pest Control, and if you never talk to it or dismiss it, then like every 5 minutes it comes back and just follows you around the game, which I'm very much enjoying. It's like having a weird, unique pet. So on the off chance they patch this out in the future, which they probably will, because I'm assuming this is an unintended consequence of the Varlamore patch or something, then I just thought I'd make a clip of this just showing this off. It's one of those interesting things that may just become like a RuneScape time capsule if they do get rid of it in like a week. Okay guys, here it is. I've been back at Herbivore now for 4 days since we got ourselves 96 prayer in one of the most recent clips. Still got my messenger pet with me, which is always really good. And we now have enough herbs, in theory, banked to actually get ourselves the huge account goal of 90 herb lore, where I'm going to stop, because this, genuinely, like I say, it's got to be like 10k herb lore XP an hour if you take into account the potion making as well. We'll just pray that Jagex makes Valamor Part 2 really good with the new herb lore minigame or activity that's coming out with that. But for now, we'll get to our goal of 90. We'll be able to make super combats with no boost once we get there, which will be really nice, because all the ones in the invent here we'll have to once again make with botanical pie buffs. But I'm just really glad to be done with the herbivore aspect. As you can see, we've done almost 6,400 herbivore now. We initially got our first pet months ago at like 128 KC, and the drop rate is of course 1 in 6,500, so we've basically almost achieved the drop rate, so it no longer feels quite as bad that we spooned the pet so hard. And of course, earlier this episode we did hit 99 hunter, which was at 4,300 and something herbivores, so we've basically done an extra 2,000 herbivore catches, and as you can see, that's put us at 18.3 mil on the high scores. I'm rank 238 in the hunter skill after doing this grind. We're level 102.5 in our hunter, so we've earned over 5 million extra hunter experience on top of level 99. Anyway, you'll see me when we get 89 herb lore very soon, because we're very close to that level. But yeah, potion making time for a few days. See you there. So finally, we'd gathered enough herbs in the inventory to get ourselves to 90 herb lore, but once again, we'd have to actually make them all. And one of the sticking points with the previous lot of herb lore we did when we hit 99 hunter was, of course, those limpwort roots. I had to do the exact same thing this time, do master farmers for the seeds and plant them to grow the limpworts, but I did decide that we'd make this as efficient as possible first, and since Valamor had come out since the last time we'd made super combat potions on this account, there was actually a brand new farming patch with both a herb patch and a flower patch, so I thought it was worth the time to go and send the new quest, unlock access to Valamor as well as the teleport over there, just so we could plant some more limpworts per hour. So here we are, guys. The sunny kingdom of Valamor, some brand new content for Oldschool Runescape. I'm sure you're really tired out of Valamor content by now. Like I say, it's been a week and a half since this was released, and I've already watched probably 20 different Valamor videos by different creators on YouTube, so we won't go too far into this. And like I say, we're just going to do this first quest and maybe the lily pad quest as well. And of course, like I say, the main reason we do this quest is simply because it will give us access to the teleport spell to get over here easily, and we can go to the new herb patch and farming patch while we are currently doing farming. I don't think there's very much content in Valamor that will actually be of much benefit to our UIM. A lot of the content here is kind of for mid-game players. I don't think much of the gear from Perilous Moons is going to be very useful for us. It's like 50 defense gear. And then also the stuff from the Hunters Guild is not super useful. But one thing they did do, if you remember, I think earlier this video, I was saying I really hope they add a Hunter Guild telly to the Hunter Cape. They heard my prayers and they did in fact add that. It was just kind of hidden for a few days, nobody knew, because you had to take a Hunter Cape with you to the Guildmaster, and it didn't work if you took a max cape, which was strange. So we start the quest, we're sent to meet the prince in the basement underneath Valamor, and then he sends us to these dual spy masters here in the palace, and we're given this Valamor crest to show we're officially in the employ of the Valamor government, and we now need to run around and find some corrupt knights around the city. We help out some knights in the market, recover a stolen amulet from a citizen who's been thieving. We then go over to the docks over here and we search some crates to find some smuggled weapons inside. And then next up, the quest introduces us to the Colosseum, the new endgame PVM, available with Valamor, of course, very similar to the Inferno, and gives us a brand new best in slot cape. But like I say, this quest kind of serves as an introduction to the continent, so it kind of sends you to all the major landmarks around. Maybe one day we'll be like these maxed gamers, smashing out waves, getting to wave 12, but I don't think we'll be doing that anytime soon. Maybe after we do the Inferno, but we'll talk about that kind of stuff a bit later on. We're sent inside the Colosseum itself to do a duel with a friendly knight of Valamor for a little bit of training to help him out. This is why we need 2 combat styles here, because he does switch his prayers. And with our dueled guards sent back to work, we head outside the city walls to see these 2 drunk guards here. We need to send them back to work, but sadly they're too drunk. You have to keep talking to this knight, get them to follow you, but every now and again they kind of stagger and come to a halt because they're too drunk, so you do need to go back and give them an extra nudge until they get back to the guard headquarters in the town. With all the Knights of Valamor helped and sent back to work, we return to the dual spy masters in the palace, and we're tasked to head into the headquarters of the knights and rummage through their personal belongings to see if there's any incriminating evidence as to which knight is the bad guy. On the top floor of the guard barracks, all we have to do is head down to search this chest in one of the bedrooms, and we find ourselves an incriminating letter. We then return the note to the spy masters, informing them of the Twilight cult that one of the guards is a part of, and as you'd expect, that guard gets executed for being a traitor. So with the Valamor guards dealt with, we head back to regular Centaur, who flew us here in the first place, and we go through his chat dialogue, and this is now our Quetzal for flying around all the Quetzal transport stations in Valamor once we do unlock them. You start off with just the town, the Hunter Guild, and the Sunset Coast down south, but there's a bunch of other locations that are locked, like Camtorum and the Colosseum, which are really, really good ones to build, but of course we'll have to come and do some hunter contracts to get the feed to build these later. Once inside the Holy Tiamat, we speak with the Prince of Valamor and his head priest in command. And once we go through this dialogue, we are attacked by the cultists that we just learnt about earlier from the letter in the barracks. There's only 8 of them, they only have 25 HP each. This is quite an early game quest. These days, of course, the only requirements to actually get here is to complete Children of the Sun, which has no requirements. So really, you could come here immediately on a level 3. With the cultists defeated, we return to the prince in a cutscene, and as you can see, Servius has been mortally wounded. And there we go, Twilight's Promise complete. A very, very easy quest, a very quick quest. It does give us the Quetzal transport system, the new teleport spell, and yeah, it just serves as an introduction to the lore of the place, the characters, and also sends you to quite a lot of the important spots around Valamor, so you get a nice introduction to those. And here we go, guys, the real reward from that quest, other than the tiny bit of thieving experience, we can add the brand new Sevilla Illa Fortis Telly to our Nexus here. 2k laws, 1k earths, 1k fires, and we now have ourselves, like I say, unlimited tellies to the brand new Kingdom of Valamor, putting us right here at the quest start that we just did, and it's only a short walk over to the Eagle transport system as well. So to get around Valamor, we just have to telly to our house, then we can run here, use our bird. We now have full access to Valamor and all that it entails. We just have to do a couple more quests to unlock specific things, including the brand new tree patch, which we'll go do next. Right, next thing real quick while we're messing about with Valamor, I did say when we did get 99 Hunter earlier this very episode that the cape was largely useless unless they'd add a telly to the brand new Hunter Guild, and the Hunter Guild has come out and they have indeed added a telly on the cape, like I mentioned. With that unlocked, I think we'll mount this in the house in place of the mounted strength cape that we currently have. Of course, completely within the rules of the account, we're allowed to build ourselves unlimited teleport things in our POH, as long as we don't take the cape back or whatever it is, the glory, after we're done with it and then use it. So for example, this strength cape here, we'll just ditch it because of course we're not allowed to keep it, otherwise that would have been storage. All the strength cape currently does for us is it gives us a teleport inside the Warriors Guild, which is really nice for grabbing cheese potatoes and stuff, but what we can actually do, and we have always been able to do, is go to the Warriors Guild through the jewelry box. It's just a bit more of a walk because it puts you outside and then you have to go through the door, whereas the strength cape I think puts you literally here instead, inside the door, instead of just over there. But what I think we'll do instead is we'll mount this Hunter cape instead on that very same rack, and then we'll have unlimited tellies to the Hunter Guild. All we have to do in theory is go inside here. This is the brand new Hunter Guild, really cool place. It sends you basically like Slayer tasks around to hunt specific creatures, and for doing that you get loot bags with awesome uniques inside. None of them really very useful for this account, but you do get bird seed, which we need to build the Eagle stations. And what we can in theory do is talk to this guy. We say, yes, please enhance my existing Hunter cape with a teleport to the guild, and there we go. That should already be done without doing the quest. And now if we go on teleport, as you can see, as long as we're very, very careful to not click on black chins and teleport to like 34 Wildy, we can now teleport to the Hunter Guild, and it puts us right here, which is just up the stairs to the pub, and down inside the pub is where you actually do these hunter contracts. So it's an amazing telly, and it puts us probably the closest telly to the brand new farming patch as well, as you can see. So I'll really quickly go farm at this patch. We'll rake them all, we'll do some composting, get rid of a couple of these seeds, but a nice little Valamor distraction there. We'll finish it off a bit later, but for now we're still going to grind for this 90 herb. Since we were already messing about in Valamor doing a couple of things, I also decided to complete a really quick new quest called a Lilypad Dispute. This is basically literally just a hold spacebar quest for 3 minutes, and you complete it by talking to 2 different people, and at the end you get a little bit of woodcutting XP, and you actually unlock a brand new hardwood tree patch. That's of course teak trees and mahogany trees, so the 4th one in the game along with the 3 on Fossil Island. Of course we're still not 99 farming on this account, so that could be useful in the future, and it's really, really close to a brand new fairy ring to get there as well. Whoa guys, there's 94 farming coming in, gathering secondaries for our 90 herb lore grind. Decent level, that one doesn't really give us much, but now technically we can +5 stew boost if we want to hit 99 and make those last few spirit trees. Obviously I'd rather get 96 and do a +3 boost with a pie we can buy from a shop rather than raising a cat and doing spices, but the option is now there. Right guys, here we are, just doing some Master Farmers, and we're actually about to get ourselves the first thieving level on the account for quite some time. There it is, 92 thieving coming in, now putting us at 2217 total, so 60 levels from max. We're actually quite close to base 92 as well. We're just missing cooking and herb lore. Really, really nice level. There's no more unlocks in thieving, sadly, though. You need 91 for that Desert Elite Diary, which is why we had that level before. Now, I do think you stop failing Master Farmers at 94, so that's really good. And as you can see, we've got a ton of Limpwurtsu seeds, which is the main reason we're here, but we're also getting loads of herb seeds as well, which I am planting in between. So nice progress on the account. Going to keep grinding though, finish all these potions, you know how it is. So I made a bunch of pots, of course, super attacks with Eyes of Newt from the shop. We did master farmers and farming for the limpworts for the super strengths. Now for the white berries for the super defenses, instead of hopping in the Prifddinas forest for ages, I literally just instead planted a bunch of white berry bushes and did like a day and a half more pest control. I did like 15, 16 more hours of pest control, every now and again leaving to do a white berry run until I had enough berries to get 700 and make all the potions. I actually got ourselves another entire prayer level doing this instead of hopping worlds in the forest. Definitely would have been quicker in terms of time to finish Herblore to hop and pick up the berries from the woods, but I just really didn't want to, and it was another excuse to send another prayer level. So yeah, definitely worth doing that. There's 97 prayer coming in. Right guys, back to work doing the Herblore. Here we are in Shazian once again. It's a big day for the account. Well, kind of. It's time to get rid of the Graceful we got about 5 weeks ago on the account. As you can see in the inventory, we've got ourselves nearly 1800 super energies. They've all been made now thanks to the Evandis Flail running, doing 12 mushrooms at a time through the POH Fairy Ring. And what we're going to do is sell our Graceful, because I think we can sell all of it back. Of course, we previously sold the cape for inventory space, and I figure if we sell all this, we get a little over 170 marks back. I think it's 174, but I'm just going to nip to the RD course, get the last 4 marks for 180, make all these 1800 doses into staminas, hit 90, and then do the final step with a nice clean invent of just turning the supersets into super combats. And here we are, guys. Look how clean this inventory is. We got rid of our Graceful, we put all our gear back on, and yeah, it's just coins, saturated heart, blowpipe, and then combat supplies. That's all we have. And with these last 16 super energies here, we're about to get ourselves the 90 Herblore we've been working on and off on this account since we started it 22 months ago. It's been the kind of end goal for Herblore the whole time because, of course, it's the biggest milestone. You get those Chambers of Xeric overloads and, of course, those super combats as well. So let's see the level coming in. The fruits of our labour of chasing herbivores all the way to 18 million Hunter XP. There it is. 90 Herblore, super combats, strong Noxifer potions, and that is of course those overloads. That's awesome. That's something I never thought I'd achieve on this account, and it really was a slog. It was certainly harder than a lot of these 99s we've done, like in terms of the hours it's taken. Every week of Tears of Gothics I've been mentioning, I've showed it like 3 or 4 times an episode. We've got Herblore XP. We finally hit ourselves that 90. Of course we have a little bit more here. We have still 350 more pots to make, and of course all these super combats. But now, like I say, when we do get to making these super combats straight after, we won't need to boost, so it'll be really, really easy on the inventory. I don't know what to say. We've reached 2,219 total with 290 million experience on the account, and just as a summary, 208 days played, 58 levels I think it is till we get max. Of course, we're going to take a little bit more of a break now on skilling going forward, because almost all of the skills are at the point where we want them to be for the account entirely. There's literally like 2 or 3 unlocks we don't have. There's Manta Rays in 1 cooking level, there's boosting up to 99 farming from 96 for those spirit trees. I think there's 1 more agility shortcut in 1 level, and then of course we still have 2 prayer levels to earn, but other than that our skilling is largely complete. So it is going to be moving into PVM now. I think next episode we're going to get gear together and go raiding finally. I'll talk about kind of the account roadmap a little bit as well, what we plan to do, what the ultimate goal is now for the account. Of course we still have things like quests and stuff to smash out, but in terms of skilling we're pretty much done, so very proud. Haha guys, you thought that'd be the end of the episode? Of course not. I couldn't leave you hanging with a skill on 97. So what I've done ever since we just got 90 Herblore in that last clip, I did another 15.5 hours of pest control and I got 3,100 more reward points. I cashed all those in and stopped just before level 98, so a single claim will get us level 98, and then from there I did another 20 hours to get a full 4,000 points. And what we're going to do is cash out all of this at once now, which will put us like 100, 200k, something like that, off 99. It'll pop up in the clan chat that we've just got 98 prayer. We'll get 99 straight after. Maybe it'll be interesting to see what the clan's reaction is, who knows. I just feel like I want to just smash out a second 99 for you guys in this video. Oh, the XP's gone up to 31k now. It was 29.7 before, so I guess we hit another threshold. That's insane. So let's click out of this, see if our 98 prayer pops up in the clan. There it is. Level 98, that's also max combat now. 126 combat coming in. Let's say that's neat, but claim the next one. Hit him with the 99 straight after. How cool is that? How cool is that? There it is, guys. Like I say, 36 hours. What a little cheeky prank. Look at this. No one understands. But there it is, another 99 this episode. There's all our combats now complete. 126 combat, 99 prayer, that means 99 prayer points for any combat that we go do. But I thought I'd just hit you guys with a little cheeky little addendum at the end of this video. A little bit of fun with the gang. We now have 15 skills out of 23 maxed completely, and everything else is at least 90. And we're going to grab ourselves the prayer cape and show off the emote. It's actually a really, really cool emote. One of the coolest skill cape emotes, I think. Looks a lot like the quest cape though. It's not a very good look. It's very boring. It looks like a really old cape or something. But if you do the emote, as you can see, it's really cool. You get angel wings and start flying. It's like so out of place and so cool looking. But there it is. And for those of you not in the know, this acts as a holy wrench while you have it equipped. So that means if you do have it on your back, then when you sip from a prayer pot or a similar potion, you get slightly more points back per dose, as if you had the holy wrench from Rum Deal, I think the quest is called, in your inventory. Never really a cape you usually use, because if you're doing any kind of combat where you'd want that effect, you'd probably just wear a better cape. But it is obviously inherited one day by the max cape when you do get that. Maybe it'll be good in the Inferno if we're wearing full Beaufort anyway and we don't need an Avers on. We may also wear the hit points cape, or we might just wear like an RD cloak or something. There's a lot of options. Super happy with the gains this episode, super happy with where the account's at now, and I'm just eager to start raiding and smash things out now that our skills are pretty much completely where we want them to be. So with that, it's been a long ride. See you in the outro, guys. Take care. And there it is, guys, episode 41 of Bag Only is now coming to a close. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope it wasn't too boring, because the content was kind of the same all the way through. Working it out, the actual hours of catching herbivore must have been approximately 100 this episode, and then a very similar amount of time actually in pest control as well, training prayer. I couldn't work out how many hours we spent making the potions, but it completely depends, obviously, on the potion you're making. You know, if you're making super attacks and dropping them, you can buy the secondaries noted from a shop. It takes no time at all. But if you're making those super strengths where you had to farm hundreds of limp worts, that potion alone took me like 3-4 days to make a few hundred super strengths. Like, it's so hard to work out the amount of time we put into everything. And of course we spent a bunch of time doing things like agility to make staminas. Do you count that as potion making time? Not really, because we got 2 levels out of it. Anyway, yeah, insane gains in this one. Like I say, I feel like the account's kind of at the point I want it to be. In terms of stuff that's actually any use to the account, we're pretty much done. Progress in this video though, even though we were already 2200 total, we picked up another 20 total levels here. Obviously at the current time, with sailing not being out, it's 2277 for max level, so we are 56 levels away from max. But like I say, the skilling is going to really slow down now, because we're basically not going to do any anymore. Going forward, we're going to try our best to get some gear together and do some raiding, so that is the goal going forward. But speaking of PVM this episode, we got ourselves 99 prayer. Can you imagine? We were 93 at the start. My goal was to get 96, of course, for that threshold of drinking potions and getting more prayer back from them. I didn't even think I'd get that along with all the herblore content, because even just getting to 96 as well as doing 90 herblore in one episode is a lot. But I did just spend a lot of time AFKing, like I say, to get these 6 prayer levels, max the prayer skill, and actually hit max combat as well. We're 126. If you just look at this page of skills here on the screen, like, it's mostly 99s now. I'd love to get max, I really would, but I'm kind of going to leave it on the back burner until at least later in the summer this year, when Valamore Part 2 releases. On the roadmap they have a new herblore activity coming out. Now if that is feasible for us to grind on this account with our account limitations, then I will max the account. But I don't want to put like the hundreds and hundreds of hours into the other slow skills that we still have left, like glass blowing and doing Hallowed Sepulchre and all these painful, horrible activities, to then, like, when this new herblore activity drops, have it be rubbish and something we can't take part in, and then maxing is just like not possible. But yeah, anyway, that's long in the future. For now, we are going to head into raids and try and do some cool stuff. I want to talk about the PVM roadmap next episode, because I still need to kind of figure it out. But yeah, I've got a few specific items I do want to pick up as account goals, which we'll talk about next episode. But for now, we'll recap this episode. Of course, we spent a ton of time getting 99 Hunter. Honestly, in like real time, it's so far back in my mind now that we didn't have 99 Hunter, because I've done, like I say, 5 mil XP after getting 99. But yeah, of course, a lot of this was before Valamore dropped, so it has been a long time. But of course, with 99 Hunter, we now have access to every Hunter creature. We can catch everything barehanded, all the bats, implings, the new butterflies they've added. We get the Hunter Cape telly that they added since the start of this episode, which is awesome. We picked up 17 collection log slots during this one. Of course, we did Tower of Life, we did a couple of random events, we did some underwater content like that Trident and all those things. We got a brand new farming patch, of course, because we completed 2 of the new Valamore quests. And then also, like I mentioned, we did get that 90 herblore, and we passed the level for some really big potions, the basic anti-venoms, the Menophyte remedies, and of course the huge goal of the Overload Pluses for Raids 1 and the Super Combat Pots. Of course, we made a bunch of those and have them still in our inventory. And in doing our herb lore, we did a bunch of agility. We got ourselves actually to 92 and unlocked Sepulchre just to earn, you know, graceful Marks of Grace and Amylase crystals. So that's amazing. So if we ever do want to grind 99 agility out, we currently have the best in-slot XP an hour method unlocked, which is good. So yeah, like I say, approximately 100 hours of herbivore in this one, and 100 hours of pest control, and a bunch of collection log slot chasing, and a bunch of potion making, which isn't included in that time. I'm sorry if this one isn't the most varied video, but I'm so happy with where we've reached the account. If you just look at the stats we had at the start of this versus now, we've pretty much unlocked everything in every skill. We're combat ready. We can make any PVM supplies we need to, so that's going to be a really big boon for the next episode. Anyway, we've rambled long enough. This ending clip is long enough. So as ever, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for subbing, liking, commenting, saying nice things in game, all that good engagement stuff. And yeah, if you want to watch previous episodes, there's as always a playlist on the channel, and if you want to watch the next one, there's that subscribe button. That's the point of it. But until then, I'll see you there. So take care, guys. Bye.